How's it going, everybody? Bryan Alvarez here on Wrestling Observer Live. We are here every day, Monday through Friday, noon Pacific 3 Eastern, Sundays 3 Pacific 6 Eastern, Saturday mornings with Jim Valley, 10 a.m. Pacific 1 Eastern, Sundays with Andrew Zarian. It is Fun Friday here on the show. That's right. We got a lot to talk about here today. Not the least of which is a brand new title match just added to SmackDown tonight, which I'm actually surprised about. We'll talk about that here. Wrestle Dream is tomorrow. Got a lot of matches announced for the show. We'll talk about the card and also what Tony Khan had to say in his media call yesterday. We have very sad news. In fact, we'll start with this right now, actually. Katsumi Sasazaki, a former pro wrestling referee, is believed to have been found dead after a tragic incident in Japan. 60-year-old went missing on Thursday while working at Kitakami Hot Spring Inn. He was cleaning an outdoor bath when an apparent bear attack happened. Police found bloodstains, animal fur at the scene, as well as items belonging to Sasazaki like scattered cleaning tools, his glasses, and slippers. Search party later found the body. They shot and killed the bear responsible for the attack. So, horrible story. There have been... there was this one, and then there was the other guy that got ran over by the tour bus. I mean, just a terrible year of freak deaths in Japan. But all the best to the friends and family of Katsumi Sasazaki. Just a terrible story. So we'll talk about all of the rest of the news when we come back from the break. If you want to text us here today, 425-780-7566. F4WOnline at gmail.com, F4W Online Threads, Instagram, and Cameo. And I'm at Bryan Alvarez on X and Blue Sky. So as noted, Lance Storm will join us after the break, talk all of the news. We'll take your feedback as well. Back in a moment, Wrestling Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. Granny, what have you got today?
Okay, everybody be quiet, okay?
Okay.
Hey, Google, tell us a joke.
What's the most musical part of a turkey? The drumsticks.
Ba-da-cha.
Hey, Google, you suck.
Well, I am still learning. What should we fix?
The guilt in the response.
Hey, Google, that's enough. Hey, Google.
Shut your hole.
Hey, Google.
Hi there, I'm listening.
Oh, jeez.
How can I help today?
Hey, Google. Shut up.
How can I be of service?
No, that won't quit.
God.
Hey, Google. No more. Stop.
This is how the war with the robots begins.
Name the hip-hop group that asked the question, are you down with OPP in 1992?
Granny, I will pay you $100 to read that again, please.
Yeah, can you read more?
Name the hip-hop group that asked the question, are you down with OPP in 1992?
You somehow made it better. Oh, period. P
Stop the show
period.
now. We have peaked.
P period.
Please send those edits to Brian's email.
Are you down with OPP? On the show, The Big Bang Theory, Leonard and Sheldon are both physicists. What is there at what?
What the hell just happened right there?
Physicists?
Yes.
Physicists?
Yes.
Yeah. I lost my track.
You lost your crack.
You were at Sisyphus.
In what city was Nipar
Brooks.
Shakur shot and killed?
Excuse me, say that again.
In what city was Tupac?
Two-pack. Vegas.
Check.
Vegas Strip.
Yep.
Join us!
Thank you.
Yeah, we got a trip to the Vegas Strip, by
Yeah.
the way.
You can get shot too.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, Google, take a nap. Hey, Google, wake up. Hey, Google, are you awake?
Here's a YouTube music station called Are You Awake?
Hey, Google, stop!
Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Lance Storm joining us here today. I should note that somebody in the YouTube chat mentioned that apparently bear attacks have been on the rise in Japan. There have been a lot of news reports lately in Japan of bear attacks, so definitely not good there. But I want to also mention this, because we talked about it yesterday. Remember how you mentioned that you signed your 2019 deal and it had the 1 year no compete if you ended up getting yourself fired?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we were talking about this yesterday, and that's what's going on with Andrade. And man, have I seen a lot of feedback to this. And the same thing we talked about yesterday. You know, there's the side that they just hate WWE so much and think this is so unfair to Andrade, and it's just a terrible thing to do. And as we talked about yesterday, this is specifically for people who get themselves fired. Not, you're working for the company, they can't think of any ideas for you, their new AI program, whatever, and so they fire you. Well, you either have a 90-day no-compete, in which case you're being paid, or you can just leave. This is specifically for people that commit a fireable offense, maybe because they don't want to stay, they want to leave. I mean, the way a contract is structured, you're agreeing to be there for 3 years or whatever, and if you don't have this clause, then what happens is, well, there's only one way out if you're disgruntled. You do something really stupid and you get fired, which you don't want to just allow people to do something stupid if they want another contract. So that's why the clause exists, not because WWE is full of terrible people. I did confirm that this clause is not in the AEW contracts, and people that love AEW have used that as a reason why they're so great and WWE is so horrible. But if you love AEW, there have been a lot of problems because they don't have this clause. There have been people that have tried to get themselves fired because they think if they get themselves fired they can just leave. There's been some bad stuff, and there's been some embarrassing stuff too. The whole CM Punk situation with Jack Perry, when, he attacked Jack Perry, and they ended up firing him. And then he went right to WWE and debuted at Survivor Series, and, there were a lot of people in AEW that were so upset with how that went down because they were like, this guy did so much damage, and then he got himself fired and then was immediately rewarded. And that's what this clause is designed to prevent. Now, with all that said, I mentioned yesterday that I don't think this will hold up in court, and I stand by that because, what's his name here? William Beltran, who is he's a journalist. I think he works with Boxy Lucha magazine. He noted, and this is actually pretty interesting, that this has happened before. For those of you that remember, there was a situation, I think it was in 2014, where Alberto Del Rio was working for WWE, and one of the writers, Cody Barbieri, I believe was his name, he made some comment, and I don't remember what the comment is, but whatever it was, Andrade took it as a racist comment, and he slapped the guy. He went after him.
In catering, I believe.
Yes, and so they fired Andrade for attacking this guy, and the clause was in the contract in 2014 because they fired him, and then they said, you can't work anyway for a year. That's a contract. You can't go anywhere. You can't do anything. And so he fought it. And for those of you that recall, they ended up coming to an agreement where he worked for, I believe, AAA the next month. And when the heat died down, so to speak, as it was termed, they brought him back to WWE. So there has been one instance where somebody fought this, and they did come to an agreement. And so my guess is that, yes, Alberto Del Rio. So my guess is that probably this will be fought by Andrade, and my guess is you will see him in AEW probably sooner rather than later. But we shall see. That's the update.
Yes, it depends on how hard they fight. I could see them allowing him to work in other countries. I don't know if they will cave. They might fight longer for a complete outright release.
And I should note as well that with the Alberto situation, I mean, yes, he fought it, but the agreement they came to involved him returning to WWE. And I don't think that Andrade wants to return to WWE. And even after they came to the agreement, the clause was still in those contracts for another 11 years now. Probably was in there even earlier. So, you know, the idea that it's I don't know the legality of it. We'll find out if they take it to court. But that was one situation we know of, and it involved a return to WWE. So,
but yeah, if something like that can't be enforced, though, someone in demand, like a top guy, it leaves the company in a really bad spot because they can't even make them follow creative. Because if I know I can work in both places and they say, why don't you do a job? I'm like, no. It's like there's nothing they can do other than pay me to sit home or put me over. Because they can't fire me because I'll leave and go somewhere else and make money.
And that's what they did with Rusev. Like they just iced him for like a year and a half and paid him a ridiculous amount of money to do nothing because they knew if they fired him, he would just go to WWE, which is what he wanted. So there you go.
So if they had the clause, they might have had more leverage to make them do what they wanted.
They would have more leverage. If you know that if you get fired, you can't just walk to the other company, well, you might be more willing to play ball. Or he maybe just likes sitting at home and doing absolutely nothing for a year and a half. There's always that as well.
Probably prefers getting paid for it, though, not...
Yeah. All right, the final match of John Cena's career could potentially have a title on the line. Dave Meltzer reports there have been discussions about Cena possibly winning the Intercontinental title and defending it in his final match. As of now, the plans are for Cena to challenge Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental title at Survivor Series November 29th. Gunther is planned to be Cena's last opponent December 13th. I hate this idea.
Me too.
I think that, listen, okay, Gunther's been a multi-time world champion, okay? Like, everybody loves Dominic, but he is still at this level compared to, like, Gunther's at a higher level. So if John Cena is going to put one of them over, like, he should put Dominic over in the Intercontinental title match. Dominic needs it more. And it doesn't hurt Gunther one bit if he does a job for John Cena in John Cena's final match to send everybody home happy. So I think doing it the other way around, he beats Dom and then loses the Intercontinental title to Gunther, I do not like that idea at all.
Well, I don't like it because we've already done the angle with Cena as a heel of I'm going to win a championship and leave and destroy the lineage of it. If it's his last match in a title defense, he's kind of as a babyface saying he's going to do the same thing. We've done this angle. We
have done this angle. And in fact, you know, he made it abundantly clear in another tweet that there is zero chance that he is ever going to wrestle again after December 13th. He said that he basically told everybody he was going to do one last year. He was going to fulfill all of his wrestling dates, and he is a man of his word, and that is his final match ever. So December 13th is the date, and I need to see the numbers for that show. I need to go up and look at them, because they had 50,000 people in the queue, yet there were still tickets available.
Well, those 50,000 realized how expensive they were.
That's exactly what it was. These tickets are super expensive. And it seems like a lot of people got in the queue, and they were like, wait a second, they're what? And then they got out of the queue. It's going to sell out and do a monster gate. But, you know, there are a lot of people. They priced people out for John Cena's retirement. We can actually confirm that.
A lot of them kids that love John Cena won't be able to afford to go see it.
Yeah. All right, we're going to head to a break here in just a moment. When we come back, we're going to talk about AI.
Oh, geez.
Wrestling Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. We got a big Elimination Chamber report here. And also Collision from Saturday, which actually was a pretty damn good show in its own right.
I was not told to watch Collision.
Vinny?
I forgot to text him Thursday night. I figured he'd be in bed. I said I'd do it tomorrow. And then Friday I bought a car. I was busy, and I've been forgot. John comes out, looks into the camera, and says, "There's a vibe in here tonight."
Sure is.
I'll see. Punk's eyes are bugging out of his head. Seth is still there screaming, "Die, die!" And Seth gets his way. Punk dies. John Cena wins. I thought the finish of this was incredible. Great stuff.
God, Travis Scott. Jesus God almighty. This was exactly like when Hogan used to come to the ring, Dennis Rodman trailing him, and Dennis Rodman was like on another planet. He had no idea where he was at, stumbling to the ring. He had basically have to drag him down there. This Travis Scott was on another planet, dude.
Well, the first time he was on the show was on that Raw show. He was smoking a blunt in the audience.
They go from the hug to a shot of Cena's angry heel face, and they cut right to Rock On. And then he kicks him right in the balls. And the crowd freaked out. The John Cena turned heel. Hulk Hogan, he was getting booed before he turned. It was a risk, but, they were getting sick of the guy anyway. The problem with Steve Austin was he was the top babyface, and there was nobody to replace him when he turned. John Cena's been gone forever. He comes back. It's not like he was going to be the top babyface. They got 50 babyfaces. Cody's the biggest babyface they got. There's no risk whatsoever turning John Cena heel. He's 10 times more interesting now. The Cena and Cody feud is 1,000 times more interesting.
Travis hit Cody Rhodes in the face as hard as he could. I bet that sucked.
This was a big deal, and
Yeah.
I didn't see it coming.
You guys need to listen to Observer Live on Friday.
No thanks.
Because some dude called in, all bombastic and outrageous.
Do y'all think that John Cena is going to be the one that turns heel and joins The Rock as his champion?
No chance. And I shot him down. I laughed at him.
Wow.
I said it's not going to happen. John Cena's here to sell tickets and merch as a babyface for his last year. He ain't turning heel.
They need to make shirts for John Cena that just say, "Can you see me now?"
I got to apologize to old Dwayne. I thought that guy was out of his mind. He got me. It was awesome. I cannot wait to see where they go here. In the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. This guy goes, there's no better person to talk about a computer writing wrestling than Lance. What was your idea for the Stu Hart Bridge, by the way?
Yes, they named a bridge after Stu Hart, and I joked it should be named the Stu Hart Intercity Thoroughfare Bridge. Yeah, reminiscent of the hardcore title renaming I did in WCW.
Yeah.
Because for those who don't know, the original intent was it to be the Stu Hart International title instead of the Saskatchewan Hardcore International title. But they couldn't get permission from the family in time. And thankfully they didn't, because I'm quite sure they wouldn't have mentioned the acronym part.
I think if the bridge is long enough, they should call it the Stu Hart Stretch.
That's not bad.
Yeah. In a sign of technological times, WWE recently made a new hire that will lead the company's transition into using AI for both storytelling, creative, and video and graphics. This week's Observer newsletter, Dave reported that Cyrus Kawsari was brought on.
Cyrus the Virus is doing AI?
As WWE Senior Director of Creative Strategy. He says that Triple H introduced him to the creative staff as someone that would, quote, lead WWE's transition into AI-based storytelling and integrate AI into creative services like video and graphics. All right.
Have they been doing this already? Because I've thought a lot of the poster graphics that you see online, that the guys' photos look like AI.
Well, Meltzer says WWE has already experimented with AI via Writer Inc., an AI-based platform, but, he says, with less than desirable early results. It said the platform pitched a storyline where Bobby Lashley, who I guess AI thought was still with the company, could come back as a wrestler who was obsessed with Japanese culture and history. That's what it came up with? Huh. The feeling is once bugs are worked out, AI will begin to have major impact on storyline direction. Adding another unnamed promotion also tried out AI for the creative side, but found whatever they were using couldn't understand wrestling storylines. Yeah, I don't know about this.
If they wanted to use it as a safeguard of logic, where you instruct AI to not allow more than so many run-ins, turns, and so forth over a year, and it tracked all of these as sort of a fact checker, continuity-based thing that would set off alarms when you do stuff repeatedly, that would be okay?
I think there is 100% a role for AI in putting together wrestling shows, but I'm not sure it's the actual creative. Do you remember that time where we had AI write the SmackDown report for Tom and I?
Yes, it was really bad.
Absolutely beyond hideous. I mean, absolutely atrocious. So,
Well,
I don't know.
Well, for the most part, isn't AI basically, it gathers all, like mostly what it's used for, it gathers all the existing knowledge on the internet and sums that up.
Yes.
It's like,
There's
so
a
it's
lot of
going to
that.
study the history of wrestling and
I
just
hope not.
repeats stuff?
I mean,
Like, that's not good. Creativity is coming up with fresh and new ideas, not recycling old ideas in an artificial intelligence algorithm.
I think that AI could be used for maybe an outline of a show or an outline of a promo, but you got to add humanity to it is the key. So
Yeah,
I don't know. I've been watching NXT of late, and it seems like it's written by AI. I mean, it's I don't know what's going on that show. God, I'm not sure that AI isn't fully responsible for everything involving Ava. So we got a dozen new shows that WWE has announced. So they are doing 10 house shows on the WWE's annual holiday tour.
Nice.
That's very good news. We need more house shows. And they've got a full list of events, 17 new events, 3 Raw, 4 SmackDown, 10 house shows. And it was also announced that Hank and Tank are going to be heading to Japan for a tour of Pro Wrestling Noah, which I think is a fantastic idea.
Yep.
WWE and Noah have been working together. Charlie Dempsey, Harlem Lewis, Tavion Heights, Josh Briggs have all gone there. Yoshiki Inamura went from Noah to NXT. I think this is, to me, this is the kind of thing that makes you a worker. It's not just the matches, but it's like you're going on a tour, you're getting on a plane, you're going to an unfamiliar place, you're wrestling many matches with many different people. You don't have any of the NXT agents there telling you what to do. I mean,
You don't have a stopwatch and TV time to worry about.
Exactly, yep. And we've seen, even Trick Williams is infinitely better than he was. Once he started going to TNA, and not even that many
I wonder
shows.
who he worked with in TNA.
Is that right? But,
Lots of people.
He improved dramatically when he did that. And Anna Jay in AEW had one short tour of Stardom. She came back better.
Different environments are a tremendous learning environment.
Yes.
I hope they look at their NXT roster and who might get called up before WrestleMania next year and put those people on those 10 house shows.
Yeah. I hope that they take more people and send them to AAA, go down there and do some shows there. This is what is needed to I wish they would send Kalani to some promotion to work with some of the women there. I mean, she's done a little bit for TNA, but she needs to be out of this system for a little while because she still does have a ton of potential, but right now I don't know what they're doing. So that's exciting. I like to hear about house shows. Then we've got NXT, 690,000 viewers, up 10%. Nice. And it did a .12 in 18 to 49, which is still not great. But there was a Dancing with the Stars, MLB's National League Championship Series, which did 5.04 million and 1.16. So, we've been talking a lot about this big data plus panel and how it's killed wrestling. And it hasn't only killed wrestling, but it's affected wrestling far more than most. And there is, I think they are working to try to figure this out. So I think as the year goes on, we're going to start getting numbers closer to what they were before. I mean, the big thing that seems very obvious is 18 to 34 is underrepresented. And this is not just coming from the wrestling side. This is from everybody looking at Big Data Plus panel. 18 to 34 is underrepresented, and there's a lot of 18 to 34-year-olds that watch pro wrestling. And I think the other thing that needs to change is I think that wrestling is not being classified as a sport. And even though it's not a sport, I think because of the length of the shows, I think and especially because they're doing so much picture-in-picture, I think that it needs to be classified as a sport. Because the way they do sports is different from the way they do normal programming, by my understanding. If you're watching a normal show, like a normal television show, most shows are a half hour, some of them are an hour, whatever. And, a lot of these smart TVs, I mean, they don't know what you're watching. They don't even know if you're watching it. They don't even know if you left the TV on and left the room. The cable box is always on, whether the TV is on or not. And so the way it's set up is they track via the clicker. Did you turn it up? Did you turn it down? Did you change the channel? Did you do whatever? So if you do that over the course of whatever the time limit is, like an hour 45 minutes, if you do that, they presume, all right, they're awake and watching, okay? Well, one of the things which I personally hate, but like wrestling does it, is they do the picture-in-picture. Because the idea is they don't want you changing the channel. They want you to just sit there and watch the show straight through for 2 hours. And I think what's happening is some of these people actually just sit on their couch and they watch the show straight through for 2 hours. And after an hour and a half or whatever, the TV decides, well, this person's asleep. And then the data is sent that they're no longer watching the show, even though they are. So actually, picture-in-picture in wrestling, if it's not classified as a sport, might actually be hurting the number, because now these smart TVs are determining you're not even watching the show. You fell asleep, you left the room, whatever. So if they classify it as sport doesn't have that time limit. So I think there's a lot of changes that are still being worked on. But it was good that this was a better number.
My cable box actually comes up with a prompt after about an hour and asks if I'm still watching.
Yeah.
And I have to click OK.
Yep.
When you say about picture-in-picture, I think if picture-in-picture wasn't there, I don't think people channel surf like they used to. I suspect they just pick up their phone for the 4 minutes of commercials and put it down. But either way, yeah, they're sitting there watching for 2.5 hours without adjusting their set.
I mean, when the kids watch movies, I don't even have a clicker. I use my phone. I use my phone to turn it on and start it, and then I leave, and it just runs all the way through. So, if Apple TV or whatever is, or whatever my TV is, I don't even know. I mean, it's presuming they fell asleep an hour and a half in,
which they may have.
No, they did not. You think my kids nap? Think again. Back in a moment with more. Send your text messages. I don't think we'll do phone calls today, but we'll answer a bunch of text messages. 425-780-7566. That is 425-780-7566. Whatever you want to talk about. Me and Lance, we're ready. Wrestling Observer Live. Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. Okay, can everyone hear it?
Yeah.
There is a mystery bell at Granny's house. She can't hear it. Take off your headphones for a second.
I had them on wrong anyway.
Okay.
I can't get them on right. What?
Take them off and listen.
You have in your elbow?
Is the fan on a computer?
Nothing.
All right. Well, this is going to be an exciting show.
Gonna have bells ringing through the whole thing, and it's every week. It's got to be me.
Do you have a neighbor that's an ice cream man
No,
practicing out there?
I got a neighbor that smokes marijuana.
I'm sure you do. I guess
Whatever that noise is, I mean, it's still going.
Yeah, it's not going to stop, dude.
Brian, do you want me to get off here and go see if open the door and see if there's anything out there?
You think something's out the front door?
Is he been ringing the bell the entire time?
No, Granny, you don't
Let
need
me
to-
in! Let me
it's
in!
Fine. It's fine.
If it's death, don't open the door.
Thank you, Craig. This person thinks it's a stove timer.
Have you burned the roast?
No, I don't have a stove. You want me to just get off here?
No. We're going to barrel through it.
I'd love it.
You're not even doing anything. Granny, Nick says that you've got an old-fashioned analog alarm clock in Terry's bedroom.
I don't know. I got a new alarm clock, battery operated. Is that what she meant?
Well, whatever it is, it's going haywire right now.
Oh, it might be my alarm,
You think?
but it's way back in the bedroom.
Don't worry about it right now. But when the show's over, you might want to go...
That's what it is.
Okay.
Solve the mystery.
Is there a reason you didn't turn it off when it started ringing?
Well, I wasn't in there. I didn't.
Duh.
I took a nap. I took a nap and set the alarm. I thought I shut it off, but I probably didn't.
No.
You probably didn't.
That's life.
I would say with a good deal of certainty that you didn't turn it off.
Brian, that's life around here.
Yeah, I'm well aware. I do the show with Dave, too.
Say,
Hear all sorts of things in the background.
did I do that? You know,
Yeah, you did do that.
or I thought I did that, but I didn't.
in there.
I wake up and I see lights on, and I say, I didn't turn those lights on. What's going on?
Maybe the place is haunted.
Could be.
Okay.
It's my brain that's haunted.
Well, I hope not. Instead of suffering through the YouTube chat, click like and subscribe. Back at the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Lance Storm is joining us here today. If you want to text us, we're going to open up that text message bin. It's an actual bin. 425-780-7566 is the phone number. 425-780-7566. F4WOnline at gmail.com as well. I want to quickly mention that there was a Tony Khan media call. And he said absolutely nothing about Andrade, which should not be a surprise because it probably is a legal situation. Talked about Nielsen. He said overall they're having a really good year, some of the best results of anybody. He's part of different sports leagues and is aware of the differences and trying to learn from them. They need to adapt to the changing environment, but they are still trying to figure everything out. Yep, everyone is. He was asked about whether it will be 2 blood and guts matches. He thinks they are heading towards both the men and the women doing it. He didn't directly say Greensboro, North Carolina in November will host 2 such matches, but he certainly seemed to hint at it. Yeah, I was thinking about this yesterday. So, they actually shot an angle for the women's blood and guts match. They issued the challenge, the whole shebang, and never talked about it again. It's like, this was weeks ago. Like, I don't understand why they announced it when they didn't have, like, a date, a match, or whatever. And it's the exact same thing with the women's tag titles. It's like 3 weeks ago. They had the huge announcement. We will have women's tag team titles. And then, whoosh, nothing. No brackets. No announcement when it's going to start. No announcement when it's going to end. It's just bizarre. I don't know why he did that. Kota Ibushi and Swerve. Khan said Ibushi's injury was devastating for many reasons. Looking forward to having him back. Strickland hopes he'll be back, quote, relatively soon. So there's that. Future AEW training developmental facility. He said he's interested, but was surprised at the Fightful report about Asheville, North Carolina, saying there was some truth, but it was only part of the story. He said he'd be interested if FTR, Adam Copeland, and Christian Cage could make amends. Confirmed that we're talking about such a place, but those issues need to be figured out. So, also mentioned the wife of Lou Thez, expected to be at Wrestle Dream, as he wants to honor the spirit of wrestling in St. Louis. He said he would honor Antonio Inoki, but did not specify how. Maybe he'll wear that scarf. That's what I think he's going to do. Also at R-Truth, he did an interview with CBS Sports that was actually really interesting because, sometimes they do things and then they change things and people get really mad or they say WWE is incompetent or whatever. So remember when he came back as Ron Killings and then next thing you know he's just R-Truth being goofy again? Well, he actually explained it. He said Ron Killings created R-Truth and Ron Killings had been around for years, but the people had never come together in lockstep like that, but they did for R-Truth. I wanted Ron Killings to go where he was supposed to go. He made a statement. When John Cena came back, R-Truth came back. Ron Killings was the cavalry. I think Ron Killings was a selfish type deal, more of a selfish move. I had more than 100 million views that wanted R-Truth. If numbers are real, that was the power of the numbers. So basically, what he's saying is, when he came back, he wanted to be Ron Killings. And he was Ron Killings for a little while, but then he realized from all the feedback, which was really what everybody else said, it's like fans weren't mad that Ron Killings was released. They were mad that R-Truth was gone. They liked the R-Truth character. And essentially, he figured that out, and so he is back to being R-Truth again. So it's the power of the people made that change.
People enjoyed the fun entertainment aspect of R-Truth.
Yeah. This guy goes, good for him on recognizing what the people wanted and how not what he wants is important. All right. Finally, wanted to mention this. Bryce Donovan is no longer part of WWE ID or Evolve. And I bring it up because there have been a lot of ID cuts lately to the point where people were thinking the ID program is done. And I've been told the ID program is not done, and you're going to see a new batch of recruits coming up here very soon.
Are there anyone from the original batch that are sticking with the program?
I'm not sure, actually.
There was a lot of that weren't renewed, and then apparently a couple of cuts. So.
I think there are probably a few that are still there. All right, let's talk about it. Right?
Sure.
All right, what have we got? Where is it here?
Where's the bin?
Yeah, I lost the bin. There we go. There's the bin. Alrighty. This person says, hopefully I finally get to ask this question for Lance. There's a great YouTube channel called Wrestling Bios. He recently started doing a series where he reads autobiographies of people in wrestling. The latest video was on Vince Russo, and there was a story I had never heard before. Apparently, Disco Inferno came up with a Martian invasion angle where a group was going to take over WCW, and they were going to be, and you, Lance, were going to be revealed as the leader of the aliens.
At the 2001 Space Odyssey pay-per-view.
Or so we think, because apparently it was going to be a swerve, and it was actually Mike Tenay who was the real alien leader. Is there any truth to that as far as you know?
I believe the truth end of it is that Disco would often, in creative meetings, when they hit a writer's block, if you will, throw out absurd ideas just to stimulate conversation. And one of them was that Team Canada would be aliens, and at the first pay-per-view in 2001, which they would call 2001 A Space Odyssey, it would be revealed we were aliens. I don't know if it was actually a serious pitch or just an absurd one trying to stir up conversation and the creative juices of the creative team.
Huh. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a legit idea.
I wouldn't either. It's Disco.
All right. We've got this person here says, would you say MJF versus Punk would be one of the better storylines AEW has had? That was a good one. They've had a lot of good storylines. I don't know if I could pick one that was... people... You know what was a great storyline? Was when Moxley created the Death Riders and he won the title and he put it in a briefcase. People hated that. And that was the whole point. Like, every pay-per-view, I was like, I heard it every pay-per-view. Here's the thing. It was like, when he did it, it seemed so simple to me, which was, I'm going to be a bad person, and I'm going to prevent the people from seeing what they want to see. I don't know how this guy came up with the idea of, I'm going to hide the belt, and you're never going to see it. I mean... I would never have thought of that because in my brain, it's like, who cares? He's the champion. Why do you need to see the belt? My God, these fans got furious. They wanted to see that belt. They were so mad that stupid belt was in a briefcase. And like, it seems so obvious to me. We're going to build up to the big show of the year, and then someone's going to beat Mox. I didn't know who it was going to be, but like, it seems so, but every month people were like, oh, he's going to lose for sure this month. For sure they're going to end this thing. They were like, they're just salivating for this guy to lose. And then he won, and then he won, and people got so mad. I hate the angle. I hate the storyline, blah, blah, blah. Guys, look at AEW business from when that storyline started all the way through All In. It didn't go down. If anything, they started gradually going up again. I mean, that's one of the best storylines they've ever had. And it worked because, like, people hated it, but not enough to actually turn off the show. People would always threaten that. I'm not going to watch. I'm going to turn off this show. If he wins, blah, blah. They didn't. More people were watching. So that was a good one. That's an underrated, great storyline.
And that's the line. How close and how furious can you get them before crossing that line where they leave?
Yes.
And then, obviously, Hangman won and got the belt back.
This person here says, this may be a super specific question, but when someone says that a wrestler is a good worker, does that mean they're a good seller, good at executing moves, all of the above? I always thought the term worker was related to selling and jobbing in a literal sense, because it's essentially your job to sell stuff, like somebody would do in a regular job. I think you overthought that one. Go ahead, Lance.
Yeah, they're where, again, now granted he's both, but if you looked at Kurt Angle with his technical wrestling, he's like an amazing wrestler. He's also a good worker. And then there can be those who don't technically do a whole lot of actual wrestling that can be great workers. To me, a great worker is someone who is easy to work with, versatile and can work with many people, engages the crowd in all of his matches, and doesn't hurt anybody.
I would agree with all of that. A worker encompasses everything. I think.
Encompasses.
Encompasses? Not encompasses?
No.
Sometimes I make up my own words, Lance. It's my life. But anyway.
Your show, brother.
I think a good worker is, I don't know. You said it best. Like, he doesn't have terrible matches.
I think, people. Too, from a line, too, in that if you use a 1 to 10 scale, I hate it, but it works best for the analogy. If you get a bigger reaction, like say you can manage to get a 9 or an 8 reaction with the effort of 6, then you are a tremendous worker. But if you're getting an 8 reaction with the effort of 10, you're not necessarily a good worker because you're working harder than the reactions and so forth that you're generating. Like in ECW, I found, like Raven, he was not in his best condition, but you could have a really good match with him with no effort whatsoever because he's such a good worker. Where some of the other people in ECW you could have a better match with, but you'd have to work 3 times as hard.
Yeah, my number one sign of a good worker is, not my number one, but I always notice it was Sami Zayn. Guys like that. It's like,
phenomenal.
I mean, he always gets good heat, but like sometimes he will do a match, and you know it's just a normal WWE reaction at the beginning, but then by the end the place is going freaking wild, and that to me is a sign Like, you worked well, you built it up well, you peaked at the end, you know.
And I think, too, if you're the guy that everyone else has their best matches with,
Well, for sure.
Jerry Lynn was like that in ECW. It's like, Justin's best matches were with Jerry Lynn. My best matches were with Jerry Lynn. Rob's best matches were with Jerry Lynn. It's like, hey, maybe this Jerry Lynn guy's a great worker.
All right. What is this guy ranting about? I'll get back to you, buddy. Somebody's really mad at me about something, and they wrote a long tome.
Oh, that never happens.
Yeah. All right, let's see what else we got right
Is
here.
it Dave?
So the Andrade situation, is it AEW's responsibility to have looked at his contract, or is it WWE for not providing the information? That is a great question that
Well,
I do not have an answer for.
I would think it was Andrade's position to know what his contract states, and I would imagine Andrade told Tony that he was free and clear, and Tony accepted that and negotiated with him. Like, I don't think WWE has to send a letter to every company notifying them that there's a no-compete involved. And I don't think Tony Khan has to reach out to every place that Andrade's ever worked to find out if he's still bound under contract. I would think that falls on the individual.
Boy, this guy's mad. I'll talk about this when I have the break. Observer Live. If you love this show, you should consider signing up at WrestlingObserver.com. WrestlingObserver.com has every show that we have ever done. Over 15,000 podcasts in the archives, dating back to 2005. Searchable by show, searchable by year. Perhaps the first show you ever watched was 2008 WrestleMania? Well, you can head into the archives and you can find the podcast we did, all built around the 2008 WrestleMania. Every major show, whether it be WWE, AEW, we covered it all. 15,000 archived shows at WrestlingObserver.com. Also, when you subscribe, you get full access to the Wrestling Observer newsletter. There's a new Observer every Friday. And on top of that, we have thousands and thousands of archived issues of the Observer dating back to 1991. So again, WrestleMania 2008. Go to the archives, search WrestleMania 2008, read all of the issues surrounding that show. Of course, Wrestling Observer newsletter, 40,000 words of news and information on pro wrestling and mixed martial arts every single week. New issue comes out every Friday. New back issue comes out every Monday. You also get the discussion board. One of the best discussion boards on the internet. It's members only. If you're going to troll, well, you got to pay to troll, and there aren't too many of those. And if you cause too much trouble, you're out of there. So if you want a great place to discuss professional wrestling, it is the board. Also available as a subscriber at WrestlingObserver.com. The whole package, all of the new shows, all of the archived shows, all of the new issues of The Observer, all of the archived editions of the newsletter, all of the past episodes of Wrestling Observer Radio, Wrestling Observer Live, The Bryan and Vinny Show, Figure 4 Daily, Filthy 4 Daily, The Board, all of it, just $14.99 per month. The full shebang, and you can save a lot of money getting an annual subscription. A full year, you basically get 2 months free. So check it out, WrestlingObserver.com, everything you'll ever need as a fan of professional wrestling. Check it out today, F4WOnline.com. Guy's very angry. Wrote a long tome. I don't think he's actually a subscriber, because he can't be writing this, but he says, you do get that you and Dave saying the new way Nielsen counts is wrong makes you look like a couple of nut bars, right? If you'd spent half the energy giving honest critiques of AEW instead of constantly propping them up, maybe TK would have worried about more than just the sickos, and they wouldn't be in the ratings position they're in right now. Whoa, brother. First off, the way this new big panel plus data or big data plus panel, it is weird. And it's not just wrestling it's affecting. And it's not
just AEW.
And it's not just AEW. You realize SmackDown, since they started this, is down 30%? They're about to drop below 1 million on the USA Network. This is not an AEW issue. Number 2, honest critiques of AEW. If anything, I get people mad at me all the time that I'm too hard on them. Why don't you listen to last night's Bryan and Vinny show? I'm the most honest guy out when it comes to critiques of AEW. And also, if you think that Tony Khan, okay, yes, maybe he listens or something or whatever, you think he's changing anything because I said so? You think he's changing anything because Dave said so? All I've heard for years is, this guy's going to do whatever he wants to do. Like, there will be, forget me and Dave, talk about like some of the biggest names in wrestling, some of the biggest stars in wrestling history. They'll go into the room with this guy, and they'll argue with him for like 2 hours about something, and you know what he does after the 2 hours? He does what he wants anyway. So listen, sign up at WrestlingObserver.com, actually listen to some shows, and then you're welcome to text again. But don't just listen to stupid stuff that people say on the internet. Because you know what happens when you listen to stupid stuff that people say on the internet? You become someone saying stupid stuff on the internet. Don't be like that. Be a smart wrestling fan. WrestlingObserver.com, F4WOnline.com/YouTube, F4WOnline.com/Apple, F4WOnline.com/Spotify. And that's it, everybody. We'll talk to you next time. Wrestling Observer Live.